Crap TV. This is a Crap TV. Crap TV. This is a Crap TV. This is Crap TV. Crap TV. Crap TV. The show. Crap TV. Crap TV. Crap TV.
Right, welcome to the next new Crap TV show. I think it's the fourth or the fifth.
This is the fourth because we had another one, but we canceled because we have problems with the microphone. But now we get rid of the.
Now we have a special kind of setting, also with a new guest, and we have an idea. I want to show a little animation movie, and while we are watching the movie, you can see the reaction of the guests, because I already saw it. I think he didn't saw it, but do you know iPad Code 2?
iPad Code 2?
It is a movie by an animation creator. He was working for Hollywood and big companies, and he's a animator, 3D animator, and he had a dream once, and he turned this dream into a, because it was a prophetic dream, he felt, and he turned this dream into a short movie, and it's about conspiracy and government, but in a spiritual way also, the new world order, whatever you want to call it. And there are many people pretending or saying that this is a prophetic movie, and there is many discussions about this film, and I thought I'm gonna show it to. It's just 7 minutes, and in between we can make a stop and just talk a little bit. Okay, this is the movie. I hope the internet connection is good enough.
Das hat er wirklich gesagt, das habe ich gestern gesagt.
Louise Lefebvre.
Well, actually, very good. Very interesting. Like you see it for first time, you can. You need a little bit time to react also.
2012, it's now it's 6 years
Wow.
old.
6 years old.
Yeah.
Oh, nice one. It's American. He's American.
He's French, I think.
French.
Yeah. Michel Lefebvre or something. What was the name?
Mm. Or maybe Canada.
Louise Lefebvre. Mm. Yeah, but you think he's American because it's 911 and yeah, the George Bush
Yeah.
and Obama.
And some for the style.
Yeah,
Some parts reminded me of Disney movies.
Yeah, I
or
think he worked
American
for
movies.
American companies. I think so. I'm not sure. Yeah, that's the movie. You see how many other, how many people? Why does it work? Why? How many movies there are? About this. Interpretations and even Russian and Polska and
Mm.
what Turkish predictions. Many people read so much out of these things. It's incredible. And now they even say that it predicts a date for the beginning of World War III, and stuff. I think it's a bit exaggerating. I don't know.
But what is this? What happened to the goat in the beginning?
And what?
This goat in the beginning? I didn't get what happened in the end to the goat.
To the goat. The goat comes and then it goes. I don't know.
I don't remember.
It comes and then goes. You see the you see the hand of the
No, it can't.
puppet player or something.
Cannot go. Once put the hair there.
Yeah. Yeah, change to this. But the movie iPad Code 2, it's because they have taken it from the... there is this movie about 911 and they show what George Bush in a classroom with a teacher and children.
Mm-hmm.
And they say, she says to this game, iPad Goat. And they have to repeat, or she says something about iPad Goat.
Mm-hmm.
And he called this whole movie iPad Goat 2. Because she's saying there, I tell you what I say and then you repeat. And she say, steal, hit, plane or something like this. Like the coincidence, plane, hit, steal. And then like what? Why she say play, hit, steal? And everybody repeat. And this time, is when the planes fly in the... I mean, there is so many things to talk about. It's such a crazy story. And George Bush, when they say him that there is 911, he sit there and okay, and he listen,
It's
Yeah,
funny.
I saw what he had a reaction.
That was
like,
when his movie starts in this situation, when in the classroom. That's why he calling the movie iPad Code 2, because she's calling this game they make iPad Code. Yeah.
Interesting. Because yesterday I was actually investigating politicians. Like, for another idea, I need some nice shootings for some politicians, and then I was somehow investigating how they look like, or how the places look like.
Like what?
For a story that I have in mind, no?
Oh,
And then I actually saw some of the for example, this original scene where Bush is saying that no, that if you fool me, shame on you, because you will never have a chance to fool me another time or something like that.
You can't fool me twice.
You can't fool me twice. And then there is a lot more like speeches like that of different presidents who are extremely nice to put in a story, because it's so crazy what they say sometimes, no? And if you like this, it's like a story that he used it, and I was thinking, wow, it really works when I just put something like that. It can really work, because you don't have even to put some other words. You can just use the words that they said in the reality, because it depends of the story. It will look so crazy and creepy. If you see
this is true. Also, the stuff that he's showing in the movie, there are things that really really exist. But if you put it in this thing, it seems like a fantastic thing. Yeah.
And I saw, for example, some of the like failures or unexpected things in the government boards, or there is these YouTube videos, no, the most unexpected things in government, things like that. Wow, you see so crazy things that happen sometimes.
Like when they say, I think in an interview somebody asked about war in the Middle East to Trump. And he said, yeah, we have a war, we are now in Iraq, and we should go back. And she said, you mean in Syria? He said, I'm in Syria, we have to do this, you know. And it's like the president, you know, who is not so, it doesn't matter, you know, not so precise, Syria or Iraq, it doesn't matter. This kind of things, also, you know, it's like strange to see this is a president, and what kind of things they say, it doesn't make sense sometimes. Yeah. But do you think this movie, iPad Code, is more like somebody, it can be, you know, somebody that use marketing style, you know, stuff, like he's putting symbols and things, happenings in history, just to make attention, put attention to him, to his, and make his movie as popular as possible? You know, it can be, or do you think he wants to spread or warn people, or like a dream teller, you know? Because many people in the internet believe that he is really trying to oppose his dream to make, maybe because somebody can find the meaning in it, you know, like. Yeah.
I think every great or every artist in the end, if he's really an artist, he have something to say, and he used his art to say this and have a message, which can be then another one can somehow discover this message in his work, and it's in all the artworks is like that. Some then have maybe a message that others find more interesting, but then in the end every artist has his own fans that find him interesting. So the people who find this movie interesting, of course they will find some message inside, no? It's not just playing with pictures.
Yeah, but it's I watched some of this Decoded, blah blah, you know. And some are very interesting. Some you know, things they find out. They
I mean, there is a lot of information in the movie, and I think I would have to look it several times to really could explain the story to someone else that haven't seen it. No?
For example, what I see in this movie is a lot of symbolism.
Yeah.
And this symbolism can refer to a dream or some kind of dream communication way. You know how the communication is in a dream, because in a dream you don't use the words normal. You can use many things to communicate something, or using symbols, no? And for example, what I feel after this is that the Jesus is somehow representing the humanity, the whole humanity going through this process of lying leaders and wars, and at the end was the Son. It's I resume it how I see the structure of somehow this message. No?
I had also an interpretation for myself when I saw, because I watched it a few times, and I had for me the people, the consumers, was this broken head child, you know, they're penetrated from the media, telling this and that. That I saw as the people, the victims, and Jesus is more the kind of a savior. Or the consciousness.
This guy with the mustache, this was Jesus.
Yeah, it's the one on the boat.
Yeah, on the boat.
Yeah, it seems
I was not sure if it's Jesus or John Lennon, or maybe hippie, you know, somehow. But it was not so clear to me that it was Jesus. I mean, it was just could be just like a spiritual person, or
just to know that was this guy, you know.
Yeah. He for me it was a little bit too much like the how you say the old image, the old classical Catholic image of Jesus, and then okay, you see the church is also destroyed, but. So that's why I was a little bit like doubting if really they mean it's Jesus. But now I'm surprised that you two already talk of Jesus.
Yeah, they look like Jesus.
He's made like a Jesus figure. You have it
because they use this stereotype
But
Jesus
he
figure for the Catholic.
The whole humanity.
I saw that he represents the consciousness of humanity that is sleeping all the time. And when he awakens, all the world, all the idea of the world, until the Egyptian pyramids, you know, in the end, even they tumble down. Like everything that is in human. But yeah, maybe I think to me it seems like the one is the mind, everything that is in our head, and we identify with this stuff, and Jesus or this figure is the consciousness. Sleeping, you know. Yeah, and when he's awakening,
that's
a good. And when he's awakening, all this stuff fall. These Illuminati figures with the cravat, they fall. Everything melts like ice, and you don't know where it's going. Like it's a new beginning, or. But it's just an interpretation. You don't know what it really could be.
No, this is a very good interpretation. I think with the first structure and what you say, you can go more deeply into this symbolism, and it's even more than the person. It's the consciousness, no? Like it's really sleeping and feeling like. You know, this effect of feeling like going through these times of wars and troubles and not harmony.
Yeah, but there is this woman in the tower. I sometimes I think about this. What is this woman in the tower? This old woman, you know.
It's a lot of things like that I'm not able to explain because I had to see it some more time.
The old woman in the tower, yeah. Remember?
But she's in it. It's a phallus, you know. It looks like a male, a penis, you know. It looks like a penis, the tower, and she's in the top of the.
On the penis tower.
It is, it's a strange thing. I don't know.
Yeah.
It comes in the end, no?
Yeah, you can you write it?
Yeah, here she is. And this hand shows like the God's hand coming down. It shows the way.
Yeah, I see. Yeah, this was.
Yeah, I don't know, maybe
Yeah,
it's
And it's also the Antarctic. I saw the Antarctic as well. No?
Antarctic.
Yeah, you know this ice cape
Mhm.
landscape.
Mm.
For the first time where the Obama, you see Obama, and then they zoom out. For me, that was Antarctic. You know.
Mm-hmm. But when inside the school, when
Yeah,
you see inside the school,
No, but then after it zooms out, you see him from the window, and then
Mhm.
it zooms out, and then you have this ice.
you know, they say
landscape.
this is Sandy Hook. It's very strange, but this is you know, Sandy Hook, the shooting in the school, one of the biggest shootings, I think,
Oh, okay.
2 years ago. But it was after the movie. They say, I'm not sure, but they say that it's this school of Sandy Hook.
Yeah.
That would be very strange.
There you see.
And here there is also Psalm 23 from the Bible. There is you know, Psalm 23
Or 29.
or 29.
29.
I saw also 29. I don't know. It looks also like 23.
Este se ve como Antártica.
You know, this is a school with the church and this thing. They say Sandy Hook.
Yeah, yeah.
Sandy Hook School.
A news, no news story. I mean,
They say that the school looked exactly like this with the church behind. But,
yeah.
yeah, whatever. I don't know. Yeah, don't see it. Maybe you should see it from here if it was true. They say this is this image, whatever, yeah. Ciao.
Ciao sammen!
Ciao,
Yeah.
good.
Ciao. Bye.
This part. Yeah, I just wanted, maybe because maybe you could see it, maybe there's a church somewhere, I don't know. But they say that school should be this one.
The other YouTubers.
Yeah, so many YouTubers. I don't see any. Is this? No, this one should be. Maybe. Yeah. I don't know. I think, yeah, some people exaggerate with this prediction stuff. You know, they even look what time it was here and many stuff. This.
Yeah. I mean, on the other hand, why not artists can
You can have dreams, yeah.
and can sometimes write something, then in the later time this happens, and then you can discuss if it's a prediction or if the one who made it was inspired by the artist's his story and he made it in real. Because any real thing that you can do starts with a story or with a thought in the end. And the artists are a little bit the ones in our society who are investigating this field of new thoughts, of new ways of thinking, while the scientists are more the ones who do that in material. Like the artists are doing the same but more in the invisible world.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, if you watch Terminator from the 90s, I mean, I don't know if you watch, I mean...
The first one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, nobody would...
Who sent you here? You did.
You
Who is you did?
You did. That's like really, he really says you
He
did in
said,
German.
you did.
You did.
And you think like, huh? You did? Oh, I didn't. I thought she's called Sarah.
I think he couldn't spell it well, and they said, you know what? Just say Judith, the name Judith. Ah, okay, Judith.
And then they were just thinking, okay, let's just leave it like that. Just for this, we don't want to shoot the whole scene again.
Yeah, I mean,
What do you want to say for Terminator?
I wanted to say it. It's crazy how things develop now today so quick that robots come, and it's more and more like people talk about the danger of robots taking over with the AI. You know, before it was just like a fiction, and nobody believed really that it is even possible that robots could ever take over, or even maybe the robots never can. Yeah, you didn't know if robots ever going to be real or not. You know, at that time, you could just imagine. You could say, maybe, you know, if technology can make it. You know, you couldn't know how fast, how precisely, really, computers can even work. It was just ideas, and now we see even making a robot backflip, you know. Yeah, that's something that not even many people, normal people, can do. I mean, most people cannot do it. And this kind of stuff, I mean, with people making movies, fiction, ideas, and how it can turn into reality, you know,
Yeah.
time by time.
That's why artists have also a responsibility,
Yeah,
because they co-create
reality.
the ideas that other people will then realize.
Mm.
And if they create pictures of robots making backflips, then suddenly this will exist.
Yeah, and it's also that when you ask scientists, what are your inspirations? They come up with movies, you know, like, or when you ask a Japanese robot developer, you know, he's working as an engineer, he studied school, I don't know what, is an engineer, but if you ask him, he say, yeah, my inspiration come when I was a child and I was watching Robo Boy and this robot movies, you know, of us in the Japanese culture. We have that, you know, and we have all these animations, manga, and he just was, even as a child, he wanted to realize that, and now as a grown-up, he's making like his dream come true. He never expected even, you know. And that's how artists, yeah, have also a responsibility somehow.
Big
Maybe
influence, no?
and they have a,
Influence.
they are big inspiration for people, and it can go in every way, you know. And artists, I mean, I think also creators of anything, politicians or economics, they always depend on artists, actually, you know. Economy, advertising is the best promotion and stuff, is best example, you know. How do you want to make even a picture, a good picture, without an artist? Or promotion, video or painting, music, you know, it's all necessary. Without it, maybe you can make with words, but even this is art, you know, to put the right words there. So yeah, we I mean, the artists have quite a big responsibility and also power, maybe, yeah. That you can see in every American movie now. They say when you are when you have great power, you have a great responsibility. But like, what are people doing with it? You know, like, I don't know.
Now, this you know that there is a lot of different artists, and some artists are working for the power. Because they know that artists can get influence, and some, yeah, like I said, some artists work for the power or with the power.
But they have also their own power, no?
I think
At
it's
the same time.
in the same time is going on a little bit also like a confusion in the cultural and artist world, even in the public and between the artists as well, because actually I read this article in the Artist U. That's it's a website that helps artists to build a sustainable life, and they had this idea about what is the difference between art and entertainment, for example. In Google or in YouTube or in a lot of things where there appear categories, often you see art and entertainment in one category. While if you watch what is art and what is the entertainment designed for, or what is it doing with the people, it's working quite in opposite direction. Entertainment should distract you from your everyday life, should give you something that you don't have to think a lot, that you can relax or hang on and smile and don't have to work. While art is more, I think, towards guiding you to focus in yourself, to evoke your own fantasy, to be active in a way, no? But more with yourself. It's more inward focus, and entertainment it's more outward focus. So if you put this together and then you call an entertainer an artist, and that's what's going on in these times, no? Because now we call everyone who does something creative is already an artist, but some of them, they just do entertainment, or they make publicity, which is very close to entertainment, and they get money, and they are celebrated as the ones who did it, the successful artists. And then there are some ones like in this movie, I think everyone can see that it's not just entertainment, it's really he had really something that he also wanted to see for himself.
You know, also it's interesting, the word entertaining in German is Unterhaltung, yeah, and unter means down, holding, you know, we will say holding down. You know, like it's funny, but that's really what entertainment is supposed to do, and they are successful. Yeah,
exactly. And they work with 5, 6, 7 different structures of a story, and they always repeat these 5, 6, 7 structures, and people think that it's all that exists. And if you do also one of these, then you can also play in this game, and if you do other things, then maybe they call it art, and then you have to see how you can find your own public. But now with the internet, that's also more happening, luckily.
More and more happening, and at the same time they are building up a new system to censor the small fishes, you know. Like now on YouTube, you need every month more than 10,000 views to even be considered as paying, you know, valuable, you know.
But this movie, how is it distributed? This was in the cinema, or was only in YouTube?
I think it was only on YouTube.
Okay.
And it's spread through his channel and through different. Maybe also he was probably in an animation festival, but I'm not sure of it. But it's not famous. I mean, yeah, maybe it has 2 million views. I don't know.
Yeah, 2,000,007.
But this is from another channel. I mean, the original one, maybe has more. Maybe it was promoted from this channel. Maybe, yeah, it has the most views. So this is not really famous or so.
Heliofant, but this Heliofant it's already like
his own personal
a company, no?
No, it's his own personal production.
But some more people involved. There were some.
Maybe friends. He said my friend was making the sound. You know.
Just the names in the end.
Yeah.
In the credits.
Yeah.
There were some names.
I'm not sure if it's a company already, because it's the only
or a
movie.
company just like a
He made it for the movie, he made this
okay.
production. There is no other movies of Heliofant.
Anyways,
But he's quite. I mean, he
Very
works with movies.
I think. Yeah,
Mm.
video.
Then we can make a background check.
PI. Elephant channel.
One video.
At least he have a channel. Decrypted. Oh, the decrypted videos go more long than.
But there is a
I mean, I first
Oh,
I
wow.
saw this, like, how do you say, codified
Canada. It's from Canada. Yeah, sorry.
codified movies.
wow, kind of.
Stack pick.
Stuff pick from you.
Yeah,
yeah.
staff pick.
First I saw these movies.
Hmm. Based in the beautiful Laurentian Mountains just north of Montreal, Canada, Heliofant is a nascent independent computer animation studio focused on creating experimental and challenging content, bringing together artists from the field of dance, music, computer animation and visual arts. The company is very interested in exploring the common ground that underlies many spiritual and philosophical traditions in a lyrical form. Yeah. In one sentence, two sentences.
Mhm.
Yo, I think it has done its job pretty well. I mean, it's one production,
Yeah.
and
And now you can hire them for other things. Let's do something now.
this is from Canada, no?
yeah.
Like what? Do you know something about Canada that some car was driving into people or something right today or yesterday?
There's many
It's
awards.
very new, no?
Ah,
The car, one car
Canada
riding
cars.
over the people on the street.
it's very strange.
Ah, look, he had some festivals, huh?
Yeah, it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 festivals and a official selection.
Yeah, he's
How
good,
many
doing good.
winner? Best short film winner.
Yeah, it's good. Nice.
Interviews with Alex Jones. I saw this interview. It's a bit, yeah. Alex Jones, you know. Yeah.
For sure, everybody have their own interpretation of the film, and if you want, you can also in the commentaries write your interpretation if you like to do it, or if you have any question, something you can. Don't forget to subscribe anytime. Welcome to Crab TV, the show. I like to say that, you know.
Oh. Ah. Yeah, do you think there is something more to add to this, or are we done? with
No, I
this?
want to talk about this thing of Canada, man.
Canada, yeah.
This happened today, yes. Like, I was working, I listened in the car, in the radio. Just something happened in Canada, and they didn't know. And I didn't understand at all what happened, but the only thing I understood was, like, they didn't knew the motivation.
Mm.
And now when our friend came and say that was what was going to a terrorist attack or just like this.
No, he said also they don't know what it was. But it started, I think, I heard this the first time in my life in Basel, here in this
Yeah,
city.
this happened.
What,
Someone
story
take a
from-
car and
yeah.
he drive over people and then over a bridge.
Mhm.
You know, that's exactly the same thing that happened several times. You drive over there and then over the bridge. Why they always take the bridge? I don't understand. But yeah, probably because there the people cannot. They have to jump in the water, or they, you know.
But when this happened here, it was not an
It was not-
international news
No.
like this, for example.
No, it was just a local
The-
tragedy, you know.
Okay.
But nobody.
Maybe who knows? Maybe they put it in America.
No, I watched. I mean, I look at it. No, you can really. You don't find anything.
Okay.
If you write the accident in London or whatever,
But you can
it's
find
full.
the one of here,
Article in Basel.
the Basel one.
Auto, Amok, Lauf.
Ah, we were talking about
Basel.
you, Dominic.
Amokfahrt in Basel. But this is Blick, yeah. This is not the best newspaper we have. This is one of the worst newspaper we have. It's like the German Bild Zeitung.
Amofard in Basel. What
Or
means
the-
in English?
Hmm?
Amofard.
Suicide driver, or how you say? Amokfahrt? No, it's not
Uh,
suicide driver. it's-
Drive-by.
No, there is a word, ghost driver. No, there is a word for people who.
For Amokfahrt.
Amok life, yeah. These people who wants to
It was 2012.
Amok.
2012.
Cuando nació esta película, ¿no? When this film came out.
And also here it says, war schon gewalttätig. He was, you know, he was a criminal guy before. Yeah, I mean, it came in Blick, but I don't know if it came somewhere else in the Nachrichten, no? The news.
Don't look like international, so international.
Anyway, yeah.
Da-da-da-da-da-da.
What can you say about this stuff? I mean, we don't know nothing.
One
about
other thing that reminds me the film that we saw is this film from Dali and Disney. They made a beautiful animation, a little bit more dreamy and not too much this. For me it was quite a lot of these classical symbols that we know already from Disney and from other movies, and this one from Dali was a little bit more surreal, open, with his clocks and with his other kind of symbols that were quite original from his world, but you don't see them too much in other. But they work together in the end, Dali and
Maybe.
Disney.
Yeah. Maybe
Before
this
he
is also
died.
about internet in this movie Heliofant. Not Heliofant, iPad Code 2. It has a lot to do with internet effect to the people also.
Yeah, but it's
You know, all this
it's-
stuff you get
for
from
me
the
it's-
internet.
it's-
You
it's-
don't get
for me
all
it's-
conspiracy and stuff. All you get from internet.
it's show it the media and this internet thing as a very bad thing, or as a thing that is, and that's for me sometimes
It's also
it's
true, yeah. It's very negative.
It's very. I mean, in 2012, it was even more like that. That everyone saw it like that, no.
Yeah, at the end.
And now 6 years later, it's also a little bit changed that, maybe, or at least for me.
You don't think the end of the world is near?
I don't think the end of the world is near, because the end of the world is a saying like, if in the end it's good, and if it's not if it's not good, it's not the end. In the end, you and you and you and me decide when it's the end. You know, it's not
Yeah.
only
Yeah.
the others that decide.
That's true.
And they say also that every century they make a big deal about the end of the world, and it never comes. You know, this is the Peter und der Wolf Geschichte story. But at Peter and the Wolf, you know, in the end the wolf comes, and nobody goes.
But that's one of this. That's one of these entertainment story structures
Yeah.
that you find in repeating all the
So
time.
keep looking
So-
every year.
The people come every day on the place
be
because they
prepared.
scream.
Yeah.
Peter, he say, the wolf is coming, and they come every night out, and they see there is no wolf. And in the end, when the wolf is really coming, nobody comes out.
But you will come because you will be prepared, you know. But keep checking.
Yeah, I think that's the end of the show. Thanks for watching, and
Crab TV
have
every
fun.
day. For you, Anna, and
Bye bye.
Zo is het eruit.